Vrindavan is becoming too much jam, huh? It's not Vrindavan Dham, it's Vrindavan Jam. Where do these people come from? They should go to Ran. They should go to Ayodhya. Do you agree? Okay, put a sign on the window. Okay, what do we do? We'll chant quickly. Oh my God. We'll just chant the mantras.
No kirtan?
No kirtan. Because eventually I got out of the big procession sideways. Then I had to go all the way around. And even then there was more on this side. Is it a special day?
No special.
No? My God.
Procession is going on.
Huh?
Some procession is going
Well, what's the purpose? There was a guy on a big beard.
Ayodhya.
Celebration, but that's 22nd. What's the date now?
Already they started.
Huh? They're warming up. I should have come out of my cave. Okay, we'll just chant the mantras. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Parakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunath Vijivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakambhitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhena Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Brindavaneshwari Prishabhana Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, as it is, translation and commentary, Srila Prabhupada. Chapter 18, the perfection of renunciation. Today is 66. So we'll just chant the verse once. Savadama parijajya taranam vraja aham tvam savapapebhyo moksha yishami masucha. So the word for word, please repeat. Sarvadhaman, all varieties of religion. Parijajya, abandoning. Mam, unto me. Ekam, only. Sharanam, for surrender. Vraja, go. Aham, I. Tvam, you. Sarva, all. Papebhya, from sinful reactions. Mukshayishyami, will deliver. Ma, do not. Suchaha, worry. Translation, Srila Prabhupada. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Please repeat. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Purport, Srila Prabhupada. The Lord has described various kinds of knowledge and processes of religion. Knowledge of the Supreme Brahman, knowledge of the Supersoul, knowledge of the different types of orders and statuses of social life, knowledge of the renounced order of life, knowledge of non-attachment, sense and mind control, meditation, etc. He has described in so many different types of religion. Now, in summarizing Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says to Arjuna should give up all the processes that have been explained to him. He should simply surrender to Krishna. That surrender will save him from all kinds of sinful reactions, for the Lord personally promises to protect him. In the 7th chapter it was said that only one who has become free from all sinful reactions can take to the worship of Lord Krishna. Thus one may think that unless he is free from all sinful reactions, he cannot take to the surrendering process. To such doubts it is here said that even if one is not free from all sinful reactions, simply by the process of surrendering to Krishna, he is automatically freed. There is no need of strenuous effort to free oneself from sinful reactions. One should unhesitatingly accept Krishna as the supreme savior of all living entities. With faith and love, one should surrender unto him. The process of surrender to Krishna is described in the Hari Bhakti Vilas 11.676. Anukulyena sankalpa pratikulya varjanam rakshasi yatiti vispayo gopitrem varanam tata atmanipeksha karpanya sadvida sharangati. According to the devotional process, one should simply accept such religious principles that will eventually lead to the devotional service of the Lord. One may perform a particular occupational duty according to his position in the social order, but if by executing his duty one does not come to the point of Krishna consciousness, then all his activities are in vain. Anything that does not lead to the perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness should be avoided. One should be confident that in all circumstances Krishna will protect him from all difficulties. There is no need of thinking how one should keep the body and soul together. Krishna will see to that. One should always think himself helpless and should consider Krishna the only basis for his progress in life. As soon as one seriously engages himself in devotional service to the Lord in full Krishna consciousness, at once he becomes freed from all contamination of material nature. There are different processes of religion, purificatory processes by cultivation of knowledge, meditation in the mystic yoga system, etc. But one who surrenders unto Krishna does not have to execute so many methods. That simple surrender unto Krishna will save him from unnecessarily wasting time. One can thus make all progress at once and be freed from all sinful reactions. One should be attracted by the beautiful vision of Krishna. His name is Krishna because he is all attractive. One who becomes attracted by the beautiful, all-powerful, omnipotent vision of Krishna is fortunate. There are different kinds of transcendentalists. Some of them are attached to the impersonal Brahman vision. Some of them are attracted by the supersoul feature, etc. But one who is attracted to the personal feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and above all, one who is attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Krishna himself, is the most perfect transcendentalist. In other words, devotional service to Krishna in full consciousness is the most confidential part of knowledge, and this is the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Karma yogis, empirical philosophies, mystics, and devotees are all called transcendentalists, but one who is a pure devotee is the best of all. The particular words used here, ma suchaha, do not fear, don't hesitate, don't worry, are very significant. One may be perplexed how one can give up all kinds of religious forms and simply surrender unto Krishna, but such worry is useless. Mukam karochi vachalam bhangam laite grim yad kripa tamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Savadama Parijaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Savapapebhyo Muksha Yashyami Ma Suchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So Prabhupada explains everything very nicely there, right? In the purport. Yes, so that is the benefit of evam para praptam. We are getting this knowledge in disciplic succession. Krishna says that's the way it was transmitted in the past to Vivaswan. Now I'm giving it to you, Arjuna. So one should study under the realized devotee. So the realized devotees, they have always written commentaries to make their words and understanding available. So Srila Prabhupada, because we understand this, we understand. But many people, they may read the Bhagavad Gita and it says here, Savadharma Prajaja. So they may interpret that in a certain particular way. According to their convenience, their ignorance, whatever, they may think, oh yes, that means I don't have to be religious or something like this. But actually, as Prabhupada explains there in the purport, and a couple of weeks ago we discussed the teachings of Ramananda Roy and Lord Chaitanya, and we started with Varnashram, and then Krishna said, well, that's okay, but it's external. Then Arjuna, Ramananda Roy, he said, okay, yad karosi, he said, okay, that's better, do your Varnashram as an offering. So that is the meaning of, in concise form, as Prabhupada explains in expansion, of Sarvadharma Prajaja. It means don't, just like Lord Chaitanya said, Naham viprocha narapatir naipi vaishana sudro naham griya patir. I am nothing to do with Varnashram. What am I? Gopi bhata kamalayo dasada sanudas. So this is the real point. Vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. I am Vedanta. I am the goal of the Vedas. And there is that verse. Trigunya Vishya Veda Nistrigunya Bhavajano Nirvanvo Nityasatpasto Niryoga Shema Atmavan. Yes, the Vedas mainly deal with the topic of the three modes of material nature. You know, Vedas means Samhita, Yagya, Aranyakyas, and Upanishads. Each Veda has those four things. So they have Upanishads because after the Yagyas and Aranyakyas and Samhitas, the real point is what is beyond this material nature. So Krishna is saying in that verse, yeah, the Vedas are giving so much instruction how we should live properly in the material world, because we are in the material world. The Vedas are available to us. But the real business of the Vedas is in that verse. The Vedas mainly deal with the three modes of material nature. Rise above those modes, O Arjuna, and be established in the self. Right? So that is what Lord Chaitanya is meaning when he says, Naham viprochanara, I am gopi bhata kamalayo. My swarup, my actual nature, is beyond Varnashram. So at the beginning of the Gita, Arjuna was saying, oh Krishna, I can't do this. It means killing here, killing there. There'll be bad reaction. Masuchaha, Krishna says here. But now, what shall I do? So Arjuna is being told by Krishna, look Arjuna, the essence of all religion is to engage in my devotional service in the transcendental realm. Right? There's that verse in the Bhagavatam. Muktir hitavan yata rupan swarupena avavashtitihi. What is mukti? What is liberation from this world of pap and punya, the three modes? It is to be swarup, in one's spiritual form, spiritual relationship with Krishna, stita, to be fixed in that. And there is that verse, when you read this purport, you can see how Prabhupada is taking from different. There is that verse, Krishna Swardharma Pagate Dharma Jnani Dibisaha. There's that, Shrama Hi Eva Kevalam. That's in the second chapter of the Bhagavatam. It's Queen Kunti, this discussion says, it is said there that if you perform all your dharma, your varnashram, your material moral duties and abilities properly, but this is all shramahi eva kevalam, this is all useless if you don't develop attraction for hearing about the Supreme Lord. Right? Shravanahi, this is all useless. And we know from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhakabanai, that the Krishna Prem, which will be expressed as our relationship with Krishna, it is Nitya Siddha Krishna, it's eternally within the soul, it's there. And so what is the process? As we finished last week's class, we just have to remember Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam. And this Shravanam Kirtanam, yes, if you don't, Katha Ruchi, if you don't get taste for hearing about Krishna and then talking about Krishna, then you are not going to develop your Swarupa. You're going to become a very moral person. Sarvadama Prijaja, you're going to become a very moral person. You may go to Swargaloka, but asashvatam, it's temporary. And even in the heavenly planets there's misery there. Everyone is falling in love with the Apsaras, but they break your heart. So don't go to Swargaloka. Develop your Swarup. Become liberated from good and evil, duality of this material world. Actually, there is no duality, but we see good and bad. Actually, Vasudeva Savamiti. So Krishna is making, this is the point here, Sarvadharma Prajita. Okay, you have your material dharma according to Varnashram and so on and so forth, but perform it as an offering to Krishna, and within that, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Bandhanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmanivedanam. So that's Bhagavat Marg. Bhagavat Marg is one of the lines of the railway going to Krishna. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam. 4 practices. For that you don't need formal initiation. But then Pancharatrik Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmanivedanam. So you should be initiated, because the Archanam means the worship of deity and worship and procedures. So you should get mantra and instruction on that. So this is very important, that we know the goal, Prayojan Tattva. And that is, Prayojan Tattva is to develop, liberate our Swarup. We've discussed this many times, that the Swarup, the spiritual form, is the expression of the Prem. And the Prem is Nityasid, it's there within the soul. But it is awoken by Shravanam Kirtanam. This Shravanadi. Shravanadi means by hearing and the rest of those 9 processes. By Varnashram, by being pious, you will not get that. But now, you see, this is very important, because we saw in the 17th chapter, Krishna discussed everything, did he not? The 3 karyas, yagya, dana, tapasa. And he said, don't perform them in ignorance, perform them in goodness, but then perform them for the sake of the Supreme. Save above as an offering. In the previous verse, Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto Madhyaji, Yaji. Everything should be done as an offering to Krishna in the period of sadhana. So we are, sadhana bhakti varnashram is in the realm of Vaidhi. So it is meant to bring people to the mode of goodness, and from that platform they can become dedicated to hearing and chanting about Krishna. Particularly the Bhagavatam, the writings of the Acharyas, the Sad Goswami Astikam, that was expanded by the Goswamis, the Satsandabhas, all the Leela Shastra, all these, they should be studied. We should get a vision, just like Prabhupada said that. We should be attracted by the beautiful vision of Krishna. When we get that attraction, then the attraction for the material world decreases. Because you're either, there's an old saying by a poet, that we're all in the gutter. But some are looking in to the stars. So we're all in the three modes of material nature. We've got this material body, we've got a particular mood in our mind, but some of us are looking, Krishna. I have the beautiful vision of Krishna. I want to develop that Krishna Prem, that is my goal. How do I do it? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So Vaidhi Bhakti sets a good format for general society and for every devotee. They can take the advice. Yes, it is a normal part of human society to perform yajna, dana, charity, tapasya, ekadashi vrat, and so on. But they should all be part of our yajna. They should all be done for the sake of the Supreme. So then in the 18th chapter, Krishna went to karma, as Prabhupada explained, that he explains, if you're a Brahminical type, this is what you should cultivate and do. Same thing for Kshatriya, cultivate and do this. If you're Vaishya, cultivate and do this. If you're Shudra, cultivate this. So, but the whole point is that Krishna and the Gita is stressing this devotional service, that all our material duties, they should be done for the Supreme. But within that, we should not just be pious, good people. We should be using that piety. We have to relate to the material world. And then within that format, we should be Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam. We should all becoming expert in the Bhagavatam, expert in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, expert in the writing of the Shastras, the Leela Shastra. This is what we should become absorbed in, and then we will leave all that behind. And we should not be distracted. Sometimes bad things happen and people misbehave, but we shouldn't become drawn into that and distracted from our sadhana. Our sadhana, Prabhupada said, we should fly our aeroplane back to Godhead. And that means we should regularly hear and chant. And so we have 2,000 lectures by Srila Prabhupada, wonderful essays and small books by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, all the literature, Jaivadharma, Chaitanya Shikshamrita, by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Tattva Viveka, Anmaya Sutra, all his bhajans. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he wrote an ocean. So this should be the ocean within which we dive and swim. We have to keep in touch with, we can't take a holiday in Israel right now or Ukraine. We should know what is happening in the material world. But we shouldn't become drawn into it. Which side do you support? This side or that side? Well, karma phal is there. Parabdha karma, aparabdha karma. Everything is working. People, and there's nobody is dying. It's all very gross and horrible. But this is the material world. So that is the first. You see, this verse has 3 parts. Savadharma praja, give that up. Become primarily concerned with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padam. Make that your priority. And then the second part is what? Mamekam Sharanam Vrajam. Surrender unto me. First part, give up, that's the negative. Give up useless things that distract from my Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, and surrender unto me. The third part is Muksha Yashyami Masucha. I will, because Arjuna is worried about that at the beginning. So Krishna is emphasizing that here. And he's also saying that for our benefit, because we are listening to Arjuna and seeing how he's been instructed. That's the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. So, yes, we follow our material duties, look after the wife and children and pay taxes and do all this and that, and we try to give charity in the right way and yajna and tapasya and all that, but that is not the priority of life. And we see that with the Goswamis, right? Prabhupada said, simple living, high thinking. That means high reading of the Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Leela. So very important that we should read Lord Chaitanya. Because it is explained that, yes, Sharanam Raja. So what does that mean? Prabhupada gives that, Anukulyena Kalpasya. Yeah, there are 6 symptoms, Prabhupada enumerated them, of surrender. So I remember when I was a new devotee and I was just reading the Gita and this and that, and I was saying, what Krishna says surrender. Everyone says surrender to Krishna, surrender. What does it mean? Because, like in a war, like in Ukraine, one side will surrender to the other. In the material world, if you surrender, you're going to be exploited, perhaps. Because the enemy will extract. But when you surrender to Krishna, you're surrendering to Surinam Sarvabhutanam, your best friend. He's saying, and Prabhupada emphasizes this point, he says, Krishna tells Arjuna, it's an order. Krishna is not saying, some people surrender to me, giving a suggestion to Arjuna. No, he's giving an order. Sarvadharma Prajaja. Because he is the supreme source. Mama Angsa. We belong to Krishna. So Krishna, supreme father, Aham Bija Pritak Pitaha. He is the seed, he is the soul. He is the seed of the soul. He is Angsa. So he has the right. The father has the right to say, hey, behave properly, son. You're going to suffer. So that is the middle bit. And like I say, once we understand Sharanam Braja, what does that mean? Well, these are the 6 symptoms, to accept what is favorable, reject which is unfavorable, to be meek and humble, to rely on Krishna. There are 6 symptoms there, Prabhupada explained them. So, but they are symptoms. So the surrender means to use our desiring capacity in the service of Krishna. But that means, again, when we are in this conditioned state with material body and material mind, we have to Mahat Sevam Dwaram Aho Vimuktes Suddha Bhakata Charana Renu. We surrender through the medium of the bona fide devotee. We serve the pure devotee. What does that mean? Tadvidi pratipatena pariprashnena sevaya. That you go to the pure devotee, Mahatmanas tamam patha devim prakritim ashrita, who's situated, Brahmanishta, he's transcendental person. You serve that person. So you should always think, I am looking for that transcendentally situated person. And what will I do? I will inquire. Yes, you can give him a glass of water, you can do so many things. But the real thing, Krishna says, hear from him. Again, Shravanam. That you inquire, and then, because he is Brahmanishta, he's on the transcendental platform, because he's Shrotriyam, because he knows the conclusions of the Vedas, then he can instruct you. And why will he instruct you nicely? That is the beginning of the Bhagavatam. Tene Brahma Hridaye Adakavaye. Right? You see, many people, they may read the Shastra, like I was saying earlier, but they don't, Savadharma, what does Krishna mean? You give up. So, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye. That is the very first verse of the Bhagavatam. And it is explaining that Krishna, he gave the conclusion to Lord Brahma. Many people, now that's not to discourage people, but they may read the Bhagavatam and they may speculate, or they may be misinstructed, or they may not be properly instructed, or they may be misinstructed. You say, it is one thing to not get instruction, but then it is another thing to get the wrong instruction. So if you go to a Mayavadi or a Karmakandi or a Jnani, he may instruct you in his way, quite well-meaningly, but tadvidi pratipa, jnaninas tatvadashina. You go to somebody who is actually a seer of the absolute truth. So this point has to be understood. Yes, we respect everyone. We discuss maksita, matkata, prana, bodhayanta, parasparam. We discuss with devotees. But we listen and read very carefully what those accomplished devotees say. What is that verse? Mahadhyena kata swapanta. So this is how we surrender, by getting the instruction from those devotees that are Tene Brahma Hridaye Adakavaye, that they've not learnt the Shastra just on a mental platform, but they've realized the Shastra. And that's what happened to Lord Brahma, right? That's why he gave the Brahma Samhita. Jindamani Prakarasa. How did he compose all those verses? Why? Because he was Jnaninas Tatvadashina. He was seeing the Supreme Lord. He performed tapasya, and the Supreme Lord appeared, and then he was enlightened from within. And then he was able to just speak the Brahma Samhita. Can you imagine? To write such book, the literature, the Vedas, there's no comparison in the whole world. You know, everyone is just writing these stupid books of mental speculation. I think this political, this idea, this psychology, and the whole world's going mad, right? Psychology is driving people crazy. Previously, people had religious ideas, that I should serve God, I should obey God, I should do good things to people. But now everyone, there's no God. It's a psychological thing. We've created, the universe is dangerous, so we've created this psychological God to protect us. So psychology is actually driving people crazy. Especially, there's all, I don't want to upset the ladies, but there's all these crazy ideas like feminism and now they're transsexuals, right? Especially in the West. It's not there in India, thank God. Men are men in India and the women are nice ladies and they have nice children and they cuddle their children. They're not thinking, I want to be a trans man. Well, This is the Rakshasas. You must understand. Understand it as divine and demoniac. This is Kali Yuga. This is the age of the Rakshasas. So the Rakshasas are destroying. They can't destroy Krishna, but they destroy the principles of Krishna's creation. You understand? They just like Hiranyakashipu, he wanted to destroy Prahlad because he couldn't destroy Vishnu. Where is Vishnu? I want to destroy him. So this is the Rakshasas. Destroy the family unit. Destroy men. Have operations. Have this. pinch your nose, make your hair blue, shout in the street, teach your children to be boys or girls, it doesn't matter what their chromosomes are. This is all the Rakshasas destroying human society. And what did they destroy society with? I'm in charge, and you shall obey. But they're proposing, oh, this is freedom. Why do you want to be a man when you're a man? That is not freedom. Why do you want to have children when you're a woman? That is not freedom. You should get a job and work in the factory and pay tax to me. So this is the Rakshasas. They're destroying human society. But India, it's still men are men and women are women and children are children. They're not being... But in the West now, so this is part. And again, you see, now that's the third part. Muksha Yeshyami. You see, the Rakshasa, the demon, the atheist, they don't like this word part. Sin? There's no such thing as sin because there's no God. If you say there's punishment and reward, there's punya and you're rewarded, and there's pap and you'll get punished, who's doing it? It's not me. Huh? I mean, there's somebody out there, putting you in jail or giving you, what's it called, the Bhushan or something? Some award. Huh? Yeah, punishment and reward. That means you're under control. So that's why suffering is good. Because suffering teaches us we're not God. Right? There's four definitions of God. There is Supreme Person like Krishna, beautiful, dancing, full of love, inviting everyone. In fact, not only inviting, but saying, come, my advice is come here. The personal. Then there is the impersonal idea. That's ridiculous. All this variety came from nothingness or something. And then that is the third idea. There is no God. Everything came out of nothing. There was nothing, and then there was a big bang, and then there was everything. Pay 200,000 and I'll teach you the details of that, in my university for 5 years. I've explained this before, right? That's modern university. There was nothing, then there was a bang, and then there was everything. And then they say, we're the rational ones. But then they say, give up this idea of papa and punya, sinful life, and just do what you will. You are free. Huh? And then you are free. What do you mean I'm free? Huh? All these people say they're successful. They go to brothels. They take, the pop stars and the movie stars. They're all degraded, and then they have to go to the rehab. Huh? Can you drink daru and get no headache? Can you take drugs and have no reaction? Huh? So that's the fourth version that the atheists like. I am God. I have created. And they say that. You have your belief. You have your belief. You have your belief. They're all correct. I have my belief. And my belief is that you should do what I say. That I am God. I am the creator. Oh, you're the creator? I saw you going to the dentist yesterday. Your wife was telling me that you can't go to the toilet without herbal remedies. You can't even control your bowels, and you say you're God. Huh? You're getting old, and you're God. Huh? Krishna's Navayovanam. Oh no, we're going to change the genetic code. So that is the fourth, you see. That's very popular in Kali Yuga. But so we're being kicked all the time by material nature, getting old, having to pay taxes, suffering indigestion, headache, road accidents, and we say, I'm the creator. Well, you're not doing a very good job, are you? Instead, if you're the creator of reality, why do you have to go to the dentist? Huh? Why don't you just imagine your teeth are beautiful and shining? No, you're under control. So that's pap. That's the third part. Pap and punya, punishment and reward, they are part of life. And if you don't recognize that, you're going to have a lot of problems. Right? Children think, oh, I'm free, I can put my hand in the fire. No. The whole thing about suffering is, it teaches you that you're in yadam, what's that verse? Padam padam yad vipadam. You're in a dangerous condition. You must play by the rules. So that is what the pious people, Arjuna at the beginning, he was the pious person, the devata, the intelligent person, the sane person with a mode of goodness. He will understand that I must act properly. And if I don't, there's going to be bad reaction. But people, they take drugs and they think, I'll rob the bank and the policeman will stay my friend. This is madness. So this is Kali Yuga. Do what you will. Don't have any varnashram duties. But the pious person will think, I have to do the right thing. Right, they say the golden rule in religion is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Right? All religions teaching that. So that is very reasonable. We have to be good to people. We cannot expect them to be good back if we're obnoxious. We have to be nice. We have to consider other people's feelings. But this is not being taught now. Now the idea is psychology. There is no pap, there is no punya. That is from the past, the ancient past, when people believed in God. They didn't realize that we are God. Oh, indigestion. Give me some podinahara. So, that fourth idea that we are somehow creating reality and that we are God, that doesn't work either. So the intelligent person, he understands there is a supreme person. Sometimes they say like that, oh, there's suffering. That means there's no God. There's no logic in that. Maybe God is making you suffer. Maybe God is evil and he likes to make people suffer. But the Vedas say, no, you are being punished just like the prisoner. You're in Durgadam. You robbed the bank. They put you in the prison for 5 years. Why? It's meant to correct you. So suffering condition, oh, I've got a toothache. I told you to brush your teeth every night. Whose children, right? We always tell the children, brush your teeth. I can't afford the dentist. So anyway, with whole of life, suffering is a guide. As they say, there's no atheist in the trenches, right? If you go to Ukraine now, they're all praying to God on the Russian side. Because the suffering is not bad ultimately. It is not nice, of course. It's not nice to undergo it. But oh my God, I'm not going to drink daru again. Next wedding I go to, or the next 10-cart procession through Brindavan, right? They're all... That's what I was subject to. And everyone's going, oh, this is great. Tomorrow they'll be like, give me some chai, wife. So we learn through suffering, right? We learn this is not good. Prahlad Maharaj, as soon as you try to enjoy outside the regulated amount, then you start to suffer in this world. You can. Actually, Krishna does not want you to suffer. If you want to enjoy the material world, the Vedas tell you. You don't have to live in Delhi and go to the factory. Give in charity, be pious and go to Svagaloka. There you won't have a gross material body, you'll have a subtle body. And there's no, factories there. There's no politicians. Everyone's dancing and the apsaras are there and the Gandharvas are having kirtan and everyone is drinking somaras. So if you want to enjoy materially, Krishna has made the perfect arrangement, but you have to be punya. But it's not recommended. This is the point. Sava papebhyo muksha yishyami ma sucha. So Krishna says the punya and pap ultimately they're dangerous. Right? It's dangerous. Therefore, because to get the enjoyment, you're going to suffer. That's how they think, right? I'm going to drink daru, and then I'll suffer later. People think like that. Later, put it off. But that's not. So Arjuna was thinking, he's nothing like a Rakshasa. I'll be free. I'll change my DNA, and then daru won't give me a headache. No, he thinks in a learned way. I have to be careful, Krishna. But Krishna says, if you give up all these material conceptions of duty and you surrender to me through hearing from the pure devotee and studying the Shastra, remember 16th chapter, that very important verse, Yak Shastra Ushtrishya. One who gives up the Shastra, Krishna says, no siddhi, no sukham, and no param gatim. You don't get perfection, you don't get happiness, and you don't get param gatim. The Shastra, the Vedic Shastra, it's incomparable. I've studied all the others. There's no comparison between the Vedas and all the literature of the world. There's no comparison. So, this is what Krishna is saying. Follow nicely, Arjuna. Don't give up Shastra, Acharyas, and Guru. Mahadhyena Gatasvapantha. You take shelter of the knowledge given by the Acharyas, and you regularly study it, and you regularly chant the name. And no matter if you have this problem, that problem, this situation, you regularly hear and chant. This is what Prabhupada said. There was a lecture where I was reading from Prabhupada. He said, when I went to New York and I opened my little matchless gifts, what did I do? I just got people to chant. And then I gave a lecture. He didn't talk about relative principles or giving up this and that. He said, but once people get the mantra and they chant the mantra, then they will automatically purify their life. So that is Sharanam Vraja. Try to surrender first. And then the surrender will be that. Muktir hitamam yata rupan swarupena abhavashtiti. That you'll be liberated from this duality, papa and punya, which is only what you are seeing. Actually, everything is Vasudev. You get liberated by that. And then you will develop prem, bhava, bhakta, Bhagavan, bhakta, bhava. And then when you have bhava, you'll realize Krishna directly, man to man, soul to soul. You see. So we should understand that. And how will we do that? We just have to remember that one thing. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Hearing and chanting about Vishnu. Reading the Shastra as given in disciplic succession. And then Swarup. And you see, that's what it says. I often say, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, Sadhaka Banai. Krishna Prem is in the heart. It's not external thing that we have to get. It's there, dormant. Shravanadi, hearing and chanting, and the rest, Karidei, Udai. Right? So we are perfectly equipped. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnat Udashite Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. And because He is completely perfect, all emanations from Him are also perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Because He is the perfect complete, He remains the perfect and complete balance of creation. That is a fancy shloka saying Vasudeva Samamiti, that everything's perfectly completed. So we have Krishna Prem, we have it. But we just have to take shelter, Mahadhyayana Katswa Pantha, we study the Shastra, and then we should keep that. Ye prashade pure sarva. We should desire my Swarup. Lord Chaitanya, he broke open the storehouse of love of God, and he says, who will take? So you might say, I'll take. How do you take? You take by tapasya. That's Lord Brahma, tapa. And that is nice. The tapa is not difficult. Kevalananda Kanda, right? Narottam. He says, you just have to hear and chant. Instead of something else, you read the Bhagavad Gita. You listen. You get a little sound box with Prabhupada's lectures. You listen to those lectures. What I do, I have an alarm clock, and when it rings, I turn it off, and then next to it is a sound box, and I turn on Prabhupada's lectures, and they play consecutively. You can get one of those little things. So it's so simple, but the desire must be there. So desire is cultivated, and it is when we commit offenses, the desire becomes less. That is the effect of offensive behavior to devotees, that we lose enthusiasm. And you can see that practically if you keep your eyes open. If somebody's proud and nasty, then very soon they're, on the bicycle. So always give respect. We'll discuss that next week. We'll discuss Uddhava Gita by 29th chapter and also 28th chapter, because that explains how we can surrender, how to become Paramahamsa. We'll discuss that again. We did it a few months back. So those are the three sections, and it follows on from Manmana Bhava Madbhakto Majjaji Mam Namaskaru. And Krishna says the same thing at the end of the 9th chapter, I think it is. He says the same thing. Right? At the end, last verse of 9th chapter, that's what he says. So he also says that there, but the last two lines are slightly different. And then he says, if you do that, Manmana Yena Tena Prakarena Mana Krishna Niseshanat. You just focus the mind on Krishna by Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. It's natural. This is Krishna Prema is there, and then you attain spiritual life. And you realize then, when you enter into process of bhakti, you realize that Krishna is your best friend. That's very nice. When you realize, oh, Krishna's my best friend. He's helping me, even in the traffic jam. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So any question at this point? This is the summation of the Gita, these two verses. So, yes?
How one can do the atonement?
How one?
How one can do the atonement for the comments?
Affirmment? What was that?
Atonement.
Atonement. Yes.
Oh, atonement. Oh, by chanting Hare Krishna.
Listen.
Oh, sorry.
How one can do the atonement for the offenses that has been made to a devotee.
Yes. Well, there are four. First of all, okay, understand. That's very good. There are 4 anartha. One is offenses. So I'll just give you a fuller picture. There are 4 anarthas. You know, anartha nivritti and then nishta. So the 4 anarthas are swarupara abramya, that you don't know the nature of the soul and that you don't, and the relationship of Krishna. You don't have siddhanta. You don't understand the relationship of the soul, the nature of the soul in relationship to Krishna. That is the first anartha. And then asatrista, that you understand that somewhat from Guru and Shastra, and then, but asatrista, not you, one. Asat means the non-eternal, you hanker for that because of your material conditioning. You know, asatrista. So, you know, you're chanting and you're thinking, oh, I used to have a good time, and now I have to do what the temple president says. But I want to do, the asatrista, you hanker for the old material things, asatrista. And then, that causes rida abalyam. That's the third. And that rida means heart, abalyam, weakness of heart.
Daurbalya.
Yeah.
Daurbalya. Daurbalya.
Yeah. You're not,
Weakness.
yeah, you kind of, you know everything, you kind of, you know, but you're not, you know, you're not strong. You know, you're not Hanuman Bhav. Right, soon Ayodhya, Hanuman will be there. So you have to have a strong heart. You have to be determined. We talked about that last week. Nirantaram, perseverance. Difficulties will come, but you have to be... And then the other thing is aparad. You're okay, you're overcoming those first 3, and then, but you're committing offense. So usually offense comes from pride, puffed up. I'm not saying this is your case, but that is the root of the material conditioning. Instead of understanding my nature as a servant, I think I'm a controller. So there's 4 types of aparad, and they go in this order. There is Nam aparad, Dham aparad, Seva aparad, and Vaishnav aparad. Right, there's 4 categories. So Dham aparad means, you know, you're not practicing nicely in the Dham. You don't have to practice perfectly. If you're a neophyte, no problem, but you should be sincere. I'm living in the Dham so that I can practice nicely, right? So then the Dham will forgive, because the Dham is very forgiving. Govardhan is all the Dham. You don't have to worry too much about that if you're sincere. Then there is Nam aparad. Nam aparad, the name is very forgiving. You just have to practice, because until there are 10 items, and there's 10 items in Dharma aparad. Yeah, so you can study them. Harinam Chintamani is very good, but the name will forgive, because Krishna is your father. You're not able to chant properly. Your mind is going here, you're doing this, maybe you're saying this. Krishna will forgive. Now, more serious than that, Seva aparad. Seva aparad means Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma. You're not being clean or regular. You're being dismissive of the deity. So that, therefore, one should perform Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Parasevanam. Archanam, when one is purified, one is well established in goodness, he can do Archanam, deity worship. But even then, I remember I was Pujari for many years, and I was always thinking, I've got to do everything perfectly, 7 round the world. But I was always thinking, I didn't get that quite right. So you just have to try. The sincerity is there, But you should follow nicely the Shastra. Archanam is very good because it teaches you Seva Bhav, because you're serving the deity. But then Vaishnava Aparad. Now Vaishnava Aparad is the most serious aparad. And how does one overcome that? Well, if one does make offense, one should apologize. But then it is stated in the Shastra, you can't like kick somebody in the shin one day and say, I'm sorry I did that, and then walk off. No, if you offend a Vaishnav, and the more elevated the Vaishnav, the more serious the offense, you should make sure that that Vaishnav actually feels forgiveness. You understand? I'm not saying you, but one should feel, oh, I made an offense. So I'll just say, oh, tomorrow I'll just say, sorry, my mistake. No, you should approach in such a way that that person, that Vaishnav, feels, oh, and the Vaishnav, they don't accept offenses. They're not really, they don't curse or anything. The Vaishnava, but you should make recompense. You understand? Not you, but we should. So we should be very careful with devotees, respectful. And so respect is the opposite of being puffed up, you see. When people are proud, it means that I want to be respected. But when people are respectful, they give respect. And that comes from understanding that everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. You understand? So if we make offense, then we should sincerely regret it and with sincerity apologize. And but we can't become neurotic. You understand? But we just act nicely. Prevention is better than cure. But if we make offense, then we should, we can always say, oh, I'll buy some more prasad cake and give to that devotee. I said, I'm sorry what I said, here's some nice cake. Like this. So, in that way. But devotees generally, they don't take offense, because Lord Chaitanya said, Pranada peace and Ichenada Ora, Amadina, give respect, but I expect respect. So Vaishnava will behave like that, but we shouldn't then think, oh, he doesn't want respect, so I won't give it. We should understand. What is it? What is that verse? Manushyanam shahasreshu yastit. That a devotee of Krishna is very rare. One that has attained perfection is very rare. One that's realizing Krishna is very rare still. And so it is by serving the Vaishnava that we make that advancement. But if we make unknowing offenses, it's not very serious. Or, we don't have to think, oh, the Vaishnava is dangerous. We should just be, nicely behaved. But we give respect, and on the basis, especially with jnana chakshus, with the eye of knowledge, knowing that everyone is spirit soul. You see? Seeing people as spirit soul. We'll discuss this next week. Then we don't make offense, because we give respect. The child, that's Krishna is within the heart. The dog, Krishna is within the heart. The people beating the drum when I'm trying to, Krishna is in the heart. Then and we don't think, oh, this person is old and ugly, this person is young and beautiful. This is all upadi. Our first reaction has to be that this is a spirit soul. Maybe they're under the spell of Maya, but they're Krishna's devotee. So I give respect. And that should be for everyone. That's what Krishna tells Uddhava. But especially the devotees. Because Sankirtan, we have to go back to Godhead in association. O he Vaishnava Thakora, Doyara Sangara, Eda Se Karuna Kori, Diya Pada Chaya. And then Chaya Bega Domi, Chaya Dosha Shodhi, Chaya Sat Sangha. You know, it's that's next verse. Yes, Vaishnav Thakur, but please give me Sangha. Right? So it's very important. But the general relationship between devotees is friendship. If we get too much, oh, he's here and I'm here and he's there, you know, and we turn everything into pecking order. Do you understand? We should all be friends, family, parivar. Sometimes people get so regulated. Oh, he is there and I'm here, and then they don't relate as people. You understand? We have to relate to people in a nice, friendly way, with consideration, do unto the Vaishnavas, like that. But if we make offense, then we just apologize, and the Vaishnava will forgive. Vaishnava.
Not obeying the senior
Huh?
Vaishnavas is also offense, right?
Huh?
No,
Sorry?
Not obeying the senior Vaishnavas.
Yeah, well, all Vaishnava. Krishna tells Uddhava to give respect to the hogs and dogs and camels and asses.
Sometimes some senior Vaishnavas order something in such a way that we cannot obey those orders.
See this Amazon, I tell him every time. Sorry. I tell him 100 times, don't try to deliver on Friday, but that's his favorite day to deliver. Just doesn't get through. So, anyway, does that satisfy you? That prevention is better than cure, but if we make some offense to Vaishnav or deity, or the Dham or the name, then the best way to atone, good word, is by stop doing it. You understand? Right? You understand? That's the best way to atone. To stop doing it. And to understand this very important point, that everyone is the expansion of Krishna. Everyone is Angsa of Krishna. You see, usually we look at people, we think, oh, that's a man, that's a woman, this is young, this is old, this is rich, we look at upadhi, you understand? But we should see, no, they're different material bodies, but they all are soul. That's the primary perception we should have. You can do it. Sit in the temple, under the tree, and instead of thinking man, woman, child, and this, just see everyone as a material body with a soul inside. You understand? One time I was, if I may say, I was getting the motorbike serviced, so I had to wait on the side of the road. And the previous day I'd been reading Uddhava Gita, all about this point. And then suddenly it occurred, I was sitting there chanting, fixing the motorbike, and then I suddenly saw that it was in the morning, about 10 o'clock, and I saw all the people going, some people going to school, some people walking with the dogs, and I just saw, they're all in material bodies. I didn't see them as people per se, I saw them souls with material bodies. So you can practice that. If you see people as spirit souls, not according to their material body, man, woman, child, old, young, so on and so forth, then you start to relate to them differently. People often say to me, maybe 2 times a day, "Tum kaha se aa rahe? Where are you coming from?" I say, "Oh, sab log Bhagwan se aa rahe." What is your country? Tumhara desh? Mera desh kuch nahi hai. Sab desh Bhagwan ka hai. And they, that's a good answer. You see? So if you're seeing spiritually, then you can say that. You understand? They're seeing you materially. They're thinking, oh, he's a foreigner. Oh, he's CIA or something. They don't call it CIA. In the 70s, used to go in Vrindavan. I mean, you're CIA, I know. So everyone is reacting in the material world on the bodily platform. So atonement means to see on the spiritual platform. You see? And atonement also, what is that word? The Christians use it a lot. Regret. When you regret something?
Praichitta.
Huh?
Praichitta.
Yeah, praichitta, Sanskrit word, but the word is remorse. Remorse. Remorse means you feel sad for having done that. You understand? You know, you actually feel, I shouldn't have done that. Remorse. But, you know, so offenses, they're there, but the best atonement is not to do them again. To try and become better. Right? Just like the child. It's always offensive to the mother and father. I want this, mommy. And then as he grows up, he starts to serve the mother and father. And then everything else is forgotten. Right? So that's the best atonement. To become perfect.
2017.
Huh?
For the first time.
Sorry?
When for the first time I came to the Krishna consciousness in ISKCON, I was having like a good devotional service. So I was also feeling good while doing the devotional activities. Okay. Then after 1 year, I don't know what happened. I was fallen from the devotional service. I was not being able to pursue the devotional service anymore. Then I realized that
Amazon. See, this is a good example. We should persevere. Like you say, you had a problem. He's persevering.
Then I realized that maybe I had some wisdom of Radha, because of which
Some people don't take a hint. Yeah, go on.
So when I was not feeling good anymore in devotional service, then I realized that maybe I had committed some offenses towards the Vaishnavas, because of which I'm not feeling good.
Well, maybe not. It's your individual case. But like I say, whatever, you know, we all go through different, you know, dasas, astrological feelings. Yeah, with Daivi Pakriti.
In the very beginning, I was feeling very good while doing the devotional services.
Yeah.
Feeling very good. But I don't know what happened. Even now, I'm not feeling any more good.
Are you chanting?
Yes, I'm chanting.
Are you reading Bhagavatam?
Yes, I'm chanting.
So persevere.
But not this feeling. My feelings are not like that time when I.
Well, they say like that sometimes. You know, in the Bhagavatam, the beginning, Narada Muni, Krishna appears to Narada Muni. You know, Narada Muni is doing his meditation, and then Vishnu appears. And then Vishnu, he disappears, he unmanifests. And so Narada is trying to meditate, and then Vishnu speaks to Narada, and he says, I have appeared to you, Narada. I have appeared to you, Narada, to encourage you. So now you will have your vision of me, and you will carry on in that way. So sometimes Krishna, at the beginning of devotional service, sometimes we get a special introduction. We feel very blissful because, yeah. But then we have to get into our sadhana, our tapasya, in a regulated way. And we take satisfaction and happiness in that. That becomes our happiness. Our sadhana becomes our happiness. And as we progress, Krishna explains the Gita, that whatever progress you make, you never lose that. Whatever realizations you have of Krishna as you progress in devotional service, you never lose those. Just like a great saint like Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they're realizing, and all all their realization of Krishna is their permanent asset. You understand? So pursue devotional service with the understanding that this is my greatest profit. You understand? But that pursuance, that practice is our offering to Krishna and the Vaishnava Acharyas. You understand? So we chant in the mood of offering. We perform tapasya as an offering, like we were saying. The whole thing is madhyaji, manmana bhava madhya, become devotee. But then do everything, all your sadhana, as an offering. You understand? So you chant, but it's your yajna. The sages at Naimisharanya, we're gathered here to perform yajna. It's in the Bhagavatam. So the devotee, he studies, and he's realizing, this is my yajna. I'm doing yajna. I'm doing this, Krishna says, one who studies this worships me by his intelligence. So the devotee is doing yajna all the time. In his sadhana is his yajna, and then you will get bliss, because the bliss will come through seva bhav. You understand? Now at the beginning you might, Krishna, I found some treasure, but then you have to practice the seva bhav.
It is very fine to chant when it is very fine to chant when we are feeling blissful while chanting, but when there is no feelings or no good feelings, then we feel like give up the chanting or give up the devotional service.
Yeah, but so that is the neophyte condition, if you don't mind me saying. There's the nirantaram. We discussed this last week. Pramanas, tad acharas, nirantaram. The three things. You attain highest devotion by pramana, Vedic knowledge, siddhanta. Then sad acharas, pious activity, good behavior, and then perseverance in practice. So you have to persevere. You understand? You have to persevere. You study the Shastra, you develop good qualities, you purify your life, and so on and so forth. And luckily. And then you persevere. You have to persevere. Like Hanuman. Like, everyone's talking about Ramchandra. You have to be like Hanuman. Hanuman Bhav. You have to be like Bhima. You understand? You have to be fired up. Hrida abalyam. You have to be strong. Because Prabhupada says that when you become devotee, what you're virtually doing is you're declaring war on the material nature. So you're going to get some pushback. Look what happened to Prahlad. So you have to be strong. You know, what did Krishna tell Arjuna? Arjuna, armed with yoga, stand and fight. So you have to be, humility doesn't mean to say you don't stand and fight. Right?
So what should I do?
Huh?
Like when I don't feel good.
Yeah, but that's it. You're making the priority not feeling good.
Yes.
But Krishna is saying surrender to me. That means surrender to sadhana in the beginning, you see. And you have to be perseverant. And you have to be regulated. And you have to have a mind, like Prabhupada said, the beautiful vision of Krishna. We have to think, if I use this life nicely, I can get eternal life.
So it's a long process, right?
It's not a long process, it's Kali Yuga. We hardly live 100 years. 100 years is nothing. Huh? Yesterday he was 20. Right? 100 years goes very quickly.
Does it take so many births?
Huh?
Does it take so many births?
No. This is what's in the 13th chapter, Harinam Chintamani, by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He enumerates the Nam Aparads, how to overcome them. Harinam Chintamani. Read that about. And then the final chapter, I think it's chapter 13, he explains that if one just keeps chanting and giving a pious life, then he can spend hundreds of lifetimes being born in a Vaishnava family or in good Sangha and so on, and maybe going to Swagalok and coming Yoga Brasta, coming back. He can spend hundreds of lifetimes like that. But then Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, but if a spirit soul decides, I'm going to make perfection in this life, like Jadbharat, like Dhruva, then in one lifetime he can go back to Godhead. And that is our decision. You understand? We have free will. Punishment and reward. You understand? Because we have free will. We have to be determined. Right? Determination. Nirantaram. Constant perseverance. But I can't do that for you. You have to do that. You persevere by eating every day, right? You don't think, I've got a bad tooth, I'm not eating for the rest of my life. No, you have to persevere. But only you can do that. Prabhupada can't do that for you. Bhaktisiddhanta can't do that for you. Lord Brahma can't do that for you. Krishna's given us free will. And according to how we use that free will, we get the result. You understand?
I understand.
So you have to look in the mirror and think, what do I want in life? Do I want another birth? Or do I want eternal life? That's why Prabhupada said, he made a magazine, Back to Godhead. Prabhupada is always saying in those early lectures, go back to Godhead. Don't stay in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is horrible. Look what's happening in the world today. The Rakshasas are ruining the environment. The rivers are filthy, the air's polluted. They want to make GMO foods here. They're spending billions on atom bombs. This is the time of the Rakshasas.
Very difficult to
It's Kali Yuga.
get out of the mind.
You have to, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, this material is like a toilet. You do your business and go out, get out. The material world that's why I'm saying, Kali Yuga is an ocean of fault. But this got one good quality, mukta sangha param vrajat. And all these horrible things that you see in the world today, they should make you determined. I'm not staying here. People are just killing each other, dropping bombs, and all the big scientists are thinking of new ways to send bombs to each other. This is the time of the Rakshasas. This is Kali Yuga. It's Rakshasas everywhere. The world is covered with Rakshasas. Huh? You want to come back in next life, it won't be any better. Huh?
It'll be much harder.
It'd be harder. I remember when I was a child, we had pop songs and everyone, oh, she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. But now the music, it's horrible. Before there was music. Now there's not even music in the pop world. The Rakshasas, we have to finish now, everyone's got busy. But try to understand this point. You have to decide what you want to do. You have to look in the mirror, or you have to sit down and meditate on Krishna's lotus feet, and you have to say, and thank you all very much. So the choice is you.